Hello and happy Monday. So this week we move into chapter 2, contextual influence on compensation practice. All right, that is a mouthful. Let's go ahead and dissect what that even means. So this chapter is going to begin with discussing the reason behind pay differentials, paying people differently for various reasons. So first we'll take a look at inter-industry wage differentials and the factors behind those. And then we'll also look at labor unions. We'll address pertinent employment law practice. It's a really great chapter to kind of give you the foundation of compensation and the philosophies behind different pays. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what inter-industry wage differentials refers to. So it's a mouthful, inter-industry wage differentials refers to different industries paying differently for the same job. So for instance, if you're an HR generalist for a software company, maybe a mining company, utility company, they tend to pay higher than if you were an HR generalist in the retail industry. It's the same job, but different industry. Also, geography has a lot to do with it as well. An HR generalist in the retail industry might be paid more if they're located in an area of higher wages. Maybe they're in New York City or Silicon Valley, and so they would be paid higher or more than their counterpart in, let's say, Arkansas, for instance. Again, it's that same job. It just kind of depends on where they live. So I hope this makes a little bit more sense as to what this chapter is about. Let's go ahead and take a look at your assignments for the week. So you have to read, obviously you read the chapter 2. You'll complete that chapter 2 quiz. So every week you're going to read a chapter and have a short quiz. This week you have a written assignment. We'll go ahead and look at that written assignment just one moment. Also, please don't forget that you have the chapter 1 quiz and discussion board that is due on Monday, the 24th as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at your first written assignment. So I start off with, I think, a fairly easy written assignment, just having you look at the FLSA fact sheet. Now, I will tell you your textbook isn't always up to date. I think the copyright is 2019. And so if you have been in the HR industry before, if you know anything about the HR industry, laws are always changing and they're always updating. And so unfortunately, 2019 has a lot of outdated laws and regulations, believe it or not. I mean, that was just 2 years ago, but it does. And so what I've done is I've provided a fact sheet for you. So please refer to the fact sheet that is associated with the assignment. So all you have to do for this first assignment is answer the 4 questions. So please make it easy on yourself and for me grading. I'd like to see at least 4 different paragraphs, 1 for each question. As far as this written assignment, feel free to copy and paste those questions into your Word document. It makes it easier for you to answer those questions. A lot of times what happens is students try to write all of this out in a research paper format, and then you might forget to answer certain elements of each question. So if you just highlight it, answer it right, or excuse me, copy and paste it, and then answer right underneath, that's good enough for these types of written assignments. Let's go ahead and look at the requirements. So first of all, if you've hopefully you've read the syllabus and you know the expectations for the work, but I'd like to see a Word or PDF file, no text or comment submissions. Also, I don't accept Google Pages or Google Docs or any of that as well. They're just not compatible in Blackboard, and that's why. Also want to make sure that your name and date and course assignment, everything is at the top. It has to be free of spelling and grammatical mistakes. It's a college level business course, so I expect it to live up to that expectation. If you have a challenge, or if writing is a challenge for you, I should say, please go see the ILC. They'll certainly help you out with your writing. And work with significant elaboration and demonstrated applied knowledge will receive the highest amount of points. If you have any questions on how I grade, I would like for you to go ahead and refer to that grading rubric. You can get that right here by clicking on that, and that tells you exactly how I grade and the points for each. So for instance, this the first area of grade is, did you upload a document? Was it a Word or PDF? You get free 10 points if you do. If not, well, then you lose points. Same thing with the format. Do you have a proper title at the top? Name, date, etc. You get free 5 points if you do that as well. Spelling and grammar counts for 5 points, and then there are 4 questions and each count for 7.5 points. I know I'm a math person. I like to do my numbers, and so this is how it works out. So each is for 7.5 points, and then I grade each question individually, because I've noticed that, you know, sometimes students do really well on all the questions, but maybe they just kind of one area they're a little bit confused on, and I really want to go ahead and give them full credit on all the questions except for the one that maybe they missed the mark on. And this allows me to do that. So the different types of questions are identified as far as which points. And then if, for instance, maybe you didn't receive full credit, you can look at your grading rubric and see, okay, this is where I missed the mark. And you'll see which question, for instance, and I try to be very specific on which question when I do provide that feedback. All right, so I know this was a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I do wish you a great week. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. Thanks so much.